Right, there we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our informational session for reserves in TTS. My name is Hunter. I'm one of the APFA KIC members. I'm joined by Ashley and Kelly.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm another KIC member. Nice to see you all.
Hi guys, I'm Kelly. Good to see you here today.
So Kelly is going to be monitoring our chat. You're not able to use a camera or video right now, but you should have access to the chat if you're using Teams. So if you do have any questions, comments as we go through this, feel free to throw them in there and Kelly will be looking at that for us. We knew for a lot of our reserves, this might be the first time you've ever used TTS. Previously, it was only available for line holders or reserves trading their days off. Now, starting in April, you are actually able to pick up trips from TTS UBL on your days off. You are able to record this if you want to. We're also going to be posting a recording after the meeting. So if you want a higher quality one, we'll have that after. But yeah, feel free to record if you want to. I don't mind. So we were going to start by showing you kind of what the system looks like, how it works. As you can see, I'm in a test environment of Crew Portal. The reason we're doing it in a test is so that we can actually get a real TTS run. We have one of our TTS teammates here that is going to be able to actually do a run for us after we put in a ballot so that you can actually see what an award looks like. So when you're on Crew Portal, if this is your first time going to TTS UBL, you'll be clicking this up here. And that is going to bring you into the TTS system. You have your request Golden Day Flex Day trades. This is for if you want to trade your days off. Our reserves should already be familiar with that. You can use this tool to trade days off with the company and other flight attendants. You also have the home, which brings you back to this screen. Ballot takes you to the actual ballot of trips that you're asking for. You have history, which we'll get a little bit more into later. And the support tab takes you to that Crew Portal support link so that you can enter any questions. If you need any help, have any technical issues, that's where you're going to be going for that. When you click your name up here in the top right, it's going to pull up all of your information. So it has my government name as Christopher, employee number, base, all of my equipment qualifications. What's going to be a new concept that we had in our hotline that we sent out yesterday is your credit window and your TTS max. So there are a set number of hours you are able to get out of TTS and UBL. That's what's known as your TTS max. By default, every reserve is going to have 30 hours. Your PNC are your pay no credit hours, specifically just for sequences though. So that's only going to be your ETB and your TTS sequences on days off as your pay no credit. And then your credit window is the difference between these two values. So your TTS max minus your PNC equals your credit window. And that credit window is how much time you can actually pull out of TTS UBL. It's kind of a hard concept for people to wrap their heads around at first, but as you get familiar with the system, it'll make sense. And as always, if you have questions, please reach out. We're more than happy to help you with it. And then on the calendar screen, you see my golden days and flex days. And we can go through anything else, Ashley, that you want to show on here, or do you want to get going?
We can keep going, but just want to welcome you all here. Our goals for today are to help you understand the layout and navigate the system, as Hunter has already explained. We do want to also explain the differences in TTS and UBL and how to submit a good ballot and what's next after you submit the ballot. But I think we can go ahead and start with the process.
Okay. Which day are we looking at? What do you want to start with?
Let's see. I'm off on, or you were off on the 17th. Let's start there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's pick up a trip on the 17th.
So I'm going to show you two different ways to enter a ballot. The first way is by using the calendar. When I click on the day, I can click pickup. And that will take me to, I haven't confirmed my Golden Day Flex days yet. So just like ETB, before you do any transactions, you have to confirm your Golden Day Flex Day pattern. I'm going to go ahead and confirm. And now I am able to enter a ballot. So I clicked on the 17th. That's going to pre-populate. What kind of trip do you want?
Okay, I would like something, I would like a 2-day. Would really like an LA layover, LAX. Not much of an early person, so if we can get anything after a 10 a.m. report.
Okay. So you see these criteria that I'm entering. They're similar to the ones that you might already be familiar with in ETB, or if you're a line holder already using TTS, you'll probably already be familiar with these. I'm going to leave the report time blank because I want to show you what it might look like when you have those legalities on the next screen. And I'm going to change the number of calendar days. I'm going to do 2 or 3 because I'm not sure if we have any LAX 2 days in Philly. So I'm going to show sequences. We do have LAX 2 days. I lied. So you see here on this screen, it's showing me these red X's. If I hover over them, the red X's typically mean that you're not legal for something. It says it conflicts with the flex day. Normally that would show as yellow, but because I have an illegality that it reports prior to 1000 on the first day of my days off, just like ETB, these sequences can't report sooner than 1000 the first day of your day off, and they have to return no later than 1600 on that last day. So that's why it's showing the red X here, even though the other two are technically waivable options. Looking at why this one is, again, just like ETB, I don't have a 24-hour break from my reserve days on the 13th through the 19th. So if I picked up this sequence, I wouldn't have a 24-hour rest in that 7-day period. So unfortunately, I'm not legal for any 3 of these trips, so I'm not going to waste my time. We're going to go back to search, and we're going to change some of these criteria. Let's get less picky. Ashley, what else?
Okay, let's do let's do a Charlotte. I'd like to do a Charlotte layover or a Miami layover.
Okay. And I just want to make sure we're legal for 2 days. So if I click show calendar, remember we're at the 17th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so as long as we can find a 2-day that starts after that, we should be okay. Oh, there's one. All right, Miami, and it's open. You see under status open. I can click this down arrow under positions, and I see position 1 and position 8 are currently open on this sequence. I'm going to go ahead and bid all of these. And
Hey, Hunter,
again,
what's the yellow X? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, great minds. So the yellow X typically denotes something that you're waiving. As a reserve picking up on days off, technically you're always going to be waiving these days off by picking up a trip on top of it. It's just giving you that warning of like, hey, you're off on these days. You're going to be overlapping these off days. For reserves, that's kind of the point. So I'm okay with that. But you have these 2 different options down here. You can either save selected sequences or you can create a choice. When I create a choice, you can either save all of these as one choice, and that's telling the system, I'm okay with any of these. They're all equal to me. I don't care to prioritize. All of these are fine. But if I save as separate choices, that's actually going to break these up into different choices that I can rank. So Ashley, would you rather be position 8 or position 1?
I would prefer position 8.
Okay, so right now you see that's my 8th choice. I'm going to go over here to these arrows and click them up so that I can move position 8 up. And I'm going to put that above position 1. So this way I'm telling the system, my first choice is position 8. If by the time you get to me in this run though, I'll take position 1. I'm bidding all of the other positions because remember TTS runs at 2300 home base time. A lot can happen between now and 2300. Someone else might put in another ballot that I can trade with. Someone might, call in sick, something might happen. These positions might open up. So this lets me put in these positions just in case they do become available. I'm still asking for them and I could still get them. Did you want to do anything else with this ballot, Ashley?
I kind of not really big into position 2. Can we delete that off of here?
Yeah, so you see I have 2 different places I can delete this. I'm going to click this one here and remove position 2 completely off of this. Okay.
And just in case this does open up after TTS, I think I would want to be on the UBL.
Okay. So you see here this pass to UBL button. TTS is going to be handling any sequences that are 2 days or more out. So what's today? Friday. So today, when it runs on Friday night, it's going to be running sequences on Sunday through the rest of the month. If I wanted to sequence either today or tomorrow, I'd have to pass to the UBL. The UBL is handling any sequences that originate today or tomorrow. What this is doing is it's telling the system, I'm bidding for this trip in TTS, but once we get to the 16th, if I still don't have this trip and I'm still available, I still want the trip. So go ahead and process this on the UBL on the 16th in the morning of the 17th to possibly give me that trip. So it's a little bit more last minute. If you don't want the trip the day before or the day of, don't pass to UBL. I'm going to go ahead and save this ballot, and we can go enter another request. So you see this is my request 1. It's my first trip I'm asking for. I'm going to show you the different way to enter. I'm going to go to ballot, and you see in April, I can either do a sequence or a golden day flex day. Again, this is trading your days off. I'm going to go to sequence. And that brings me back to where I was. I'm going to add a request to my ballot. And I'm going to add another pickup. So I need to remember what days I'm off. What day you want to use, Ashley?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would really like to do an international trip. Let's do, can we do the 10th?
The 10th.
As long as it has a 24-hour layover. Plus.
And when you say international, you want to try for an IPD trip?
Yeah, an IPD. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any IPD.
Okay. Let's see what's there. I did the 10th. Ooh, we have a lot open. And I'm legal. Okay, so my God, what's going on with Athens? And remember, this is the test environment, so this might not actually be open in real life. All right, those are purser. I know I'm not going to get them. And you can see here, it lets me know I'm not currently qualified as a purser. I'm not a German or a French speaker. So if these do require those, I won't get them. But I'm still going to go ahead and ask and just see what happens. These ones I know because they're red, I'm probably not going to get them. Still doesn't hurt to ask. And do you want to do all of these as the same rank, or do you want to rank them separately?
Let's rank them separately.
Okay.
We'll do Athens first.
Okay, let me save the separate choices. All right, and you see it breaks them out each by position also. So for us to move Athens up, you have to come look at the sequences you're bidding. Oh, lucky me, Athens is already at the top. I don't have to move it.
Perfect. And then I would let's move Venice up, and then you could keep the rest as it is.
Venice, you're going to choose the very bottom one?
I didn't realize it was the bottom.
I'm just going to move the number 1 position up.
Perfect.
But you see, just like above, I'm just going to move Venice and move it upwards until it's in the rank I want. Just to save some time. I'm not actually going to rank it all the way up, but we'll pretend I did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this ballot. Red flag isn't currently open, but if I wanted to bid for red flag only, and this is kind of the biggest highlight for reserves, now you can be actually bidding for red flag on your days off. You don't have to wait for it to trickle through TTS UBL, and you don't have to hope someone's going to post a red flag on ETB. You can actually bid for it yourself. I can make this whole request red flag only. I could make just this one choice red flag only. Or if these were all on the same choice, I could just make this one position red flag only. And what that's telling the system is I only want this if it is red flagged. So if there are days that red flag is open, you could utilize that to try to get a red flag trip. or put in for trips in case they become red flag, you could go ahead and have those bids in already. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And you see this call button up here. This is for the UBL. Just another thing to remember if you're on the UBL, if you get a trip after 1900 home base time for tomorrow, or if you're being awarded the trip for the same day, so if I was getting a trip today, if this box is checked, crew scheduling will have to call me to award the sequence to me. If I uncheck it, then crew scheduling no longer has to call me. I'm telling them, if you award me the sequence today or after 1900 for tomorrow, you don't need to call me. I'll accept it. I'm on top of it. So if you're not someone who is always checking your schedule, or if you don't have your ECS notifications turned on for UBL awards to be texted to you, leave this checked so that they call you, so that you're not surprised by crew scheduling calling you, asking you where you are for your sequence today. Okay, is there anything else you want to bid for, Ashley, or do you want to do a TTS run and see if we get anything?
Let's go ahead and let's do a run.
Okay. Irene, if you could run TTS for April in Philly. And while that's happening, I can show you some of these history options. So remember, in real life, TTS isn't going to run until 2300. The first run for April is going to be tomorrow, the 21st at 2300 home base time. So make sure you have your ballots in for that if you want to be part of the first run. When TTS awards, it's creating chains with the other requests flight attendants are entering. So just because a trip's not an open time, if another flight attendant is trying to trade off of a trip, it could potentially be part of those chains to move the trips around. It goes in seniority order. So the first run of the month is typically the most important because the most people have trips they're trying to move around. So we really want to make sure people have ballots in for tomorrow. I'm going to go look at my ballot updates. You have the sequence trade or Golden Day Flex Day trades. This is where you go if you want to see how you updated your ballot, just in case you need to dispute something, or if you don't remember, like, when did I put this in? When did I take this out? This screen shows you every time you click save, what changed on your ballot. So you can see it shows me that at 13:45 home base time today, I entered all of these sequences. These are the choice numbers. I added them. I had red flag off, and it shows me exactly what I added. Okay. The other ones here are the UBL award summary. If you're on the UBL, this is going to be showing you how sequences are awarded on the UBL. I'm not sure if it's going to show in the test environment, so I might have to go to the real one. Oh, so you see yesterday, these are the people who were given sequences, the position they got, what time the trip opened, and what time the trip was covered. One of our more exciting reports is the UBL run summary. This one's actually going to show you all of the info of what was included in a UBL run. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the 19th for Philly. We'll see if any are in here. So you can actually see here each time the UBL ran. If I'm wondering, I put in for a trip, I didn't get it, I want to know what happened to it, where did it go? You can see all of the uncovered sequences. So in this run that ran at 4:30 home base time on the 18th, all of these sequences were included, but they didn't go to anyone. So if I had bid and I was legal for one of these, I would know, hey, something's wrong. I need to fill out a direct connect for a potential miss award to find out why the heck didn't I get my trip. Or I can see the awarded one. Oh, this one got awarded to this person. They're way senior to me. That makes sense why I didn't get it. Did you have anything else in the reports that you want to touch on, Ashley?
I think you touched on everything. Good job.
Okay. Thanks. Go back to home. So TTS takes a little bit. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to run. What else did you want to cover, Ashley?
I would like to cover trip improvement.
Ooh, good one. So trip improvement was a feature that we got a few months back. Has October of last year was when we got that you can bid for your sequence tomorrow. You can trade that into any other sequence using UBL that is good for either the same number of days or more days. So if, for example, I had a turn on the 11th, on the 10th up until 1500 home base time, I would be able to trade that trip on the 11th for any other trip in UBL on the 11th that was at least 1 day or 2. That's something that we haven't seen as many people use as we kind of thought we would. It's a great thing if you have like a 5-hour Orlando turn that reports at 5 a.m. and you could be flying an 8-hour Cancun turn instead that reports at 9. You could put in for that on Trip Improvement, and if it's available and it's able to be processed by 1500, if it reaches your seniority, you'll get it with no restrictions on monthly or daily. That's something that we didn't cover, that there is a restriction that open time can never go over 3% of trips available in open time. So typically I wouldn't be able to drop something into open time if that limit is already exceeded. But UBL Trip Improvement doesn't matter as long as it's the same number of days or more, that trade will go through. So definitely do that. When the ballots do run, you have the ballot run history here. Oh, it looks like the TTS run actually just finished. So I can go back to my home screen. It might have not been pushed to FOSS yet, so I might not see it on my calendar. But I can at least show you here under April. You can see when the TTS run went through. You can see that I was awarded a sequence. Again, this is the test, so it might not have pushed all the way through. But once it does, it looks like I got my very first choice. So I got this turn, or this 2-day for Miami. You see it was awarded. It tells me what time it was awarded. You see up here, it has all the information of when the run happened, what the run ID is. This is kind of like a backend thing. If you ever want to dispute a miss award with Direct Connect, or if you have any questions, they'll ask you for the run ID so they know which run it happened in. The TTS max is 30. When this ballot was run, I did not ask for double ups, and my credit window was 30 when this ran. So you see the sequence I was awarded. You also see under results for these other ones that they were not in open time. That's just the information for you that if you didn't get something, it'll tell you why. We already knew these weren't in open time when we bid for them. But these other IPD ones, you see I didn't get this one because I'm not purser qualified. I didn't get this one because I didn't have 24/7 rest. Those are just a few of the examples, and you'll be able to see with the TTS guide that's posted on Crew Portal, there's a whole list of reasons in the back if you ever have a question on what any of those mean. It looks like it's not. Sorry, I'm going to ask our TTS friend Irene, did this get pushed into the test FOSS so that it can actually show on my schedule?
Let me double check.
Thank you.
And
'Cause once it's in
Hunter,
there. Yeah.
once it gets pushed to your schedule, do you think we can maybe do a trip improvement with that to kind of see what it looks like?
Yeah, that was my plan. That's all I was waiting for it to get on there, because can't trip improve without a trip to improve.
You saw through my plan.
I did. But while we're waiting on this, I just wanted to touch on for those of you that aren't used to ECS yet, ECS, which is the electronic communication system, it's been available to us for about coming up on a year. You're able to go in there and set up your preferences. If you haven't done that yet, that you can have awards sent to you via text message to your phone. You can have it robocall your phone to let you know when you get these awards. That way you don't have to be, on top of your schedule or on a company device. Right now, the ECS messages will always be pushed to your company device, but if you want those available anywhere else, you can go into your settings on that app and update them. Okay, and as soon as I get the sequence on there, I'll be able to show trip improvement, but I don't know, were there any other questions that came in, Kelly?
No, sir, just that one.
Okay.
May I add something?
Yeah, go for it. Fill the
So
awkward
like,
silence.
so just kind of talking through the timeline of this first run, right? So they
Mhm.
run current month first, right?
Yes.
And then they'll run the days off, trading my days off, but that's only going to be for the current month, right? Because next month hasn't opened yet.
Yes. So next
Okay.
month's running days off, that runs on the 24th. So you can enter, if I wanted to put in a Golden Day Flex Day trade, I can go ahead and enter that now since it's afternoon, but the first run for this isn't actually until the 24th.
Okay. Okay. And we did have another question pop up if you have a minute.
Mhm.
It's how can I reorder my TTS trips when they do not appear in my order of choice?
Okay. So I was
Show us
already
how to re-rank
awarded one
them.
of them. Yeah, I was already awarded one of them. So I was just going to go ahead and throw a quick bid in so that I have more than one in there. I'm not legal for any of this, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it so I have it. So this was what I was telling you earlier. Like if you put all of these and you save them as one choice, when TTS runs, it could give me any of these. These are not ranked. These are all my first choice. So I could get any of them. This is my request two. So when TTS runs, the first request is going to be these IPD trips. After it runs looking for those, it will check for these. So if I wanted to have these turns as my first choice, like let's just say my credit window is getting pretty up there, like I only have like 15 hours left in my credit window. So I know if I get a turn, I won't be legal for these. I can reorder these requests by clicking these arrows over here. And that will move this request above this one. And then I would just save my ballot. And then if I did want any of these, if I did have another sequence, let's say, I can allow double ups by clicking here. Double ups does apply to your entire ballot though. So if I do double ups, that's potentially going to open me up for a double up on any other request I have on here. So just be careful if you're accidentally bidding for multiples.
And I think
Um,
Irene needs an employee number for you.
Yes, 752-875. You can send all the nonstop thanks there. What was that, Kelly?
Can I ask you a quick question back on those requests that you had? So you had a couple of them. I could feasibly have those with different times, right? Could I have one like expire and the other one's still going?
Sorry, say that again for me.
So when I have these different requests in there, right, that I'm picking up on these different days and such, could I have one request that was from yesterday that's already expired? You know what I mean? Do I have to go in and keep tuning up my ballot or?
No, so you already see the one I was awarded is automatically gone. I was awarded that one request, so that's already taken out. As these days pass, these will expire and be taken off. The only ones that don't expire that you might have to check up on is if I dropped this trip on, or let's say I was doing a trade and I had that trip on my schedule. If I drop that trip in ETB, I would have to come back in here and take that out. Otherwise, it's just going to be a useless request in there because I don't have the trip anymore. So how am I going to trade it? But all of the other ones will automatically expire as the month goes on.
Thank you. And then we had another question that I may want FCO before in Amsterdam. Can I move it?
Yeah. So after that other run, you see these
Can
ones
we
that I
minimize
have.
this ballot a little bit? I think it's kind of busy. Maybe just minimize it to show how to re-rank it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to do a ballot of just a few choices instead?
They had requested if we could just clean up all these choices to just a few of them.
Sure.
So you could really see that move of it.
Here,
I'm sorry, I was frozen
do.
there for a little bit. I apologize. I had to restart. Sorry.
It's okay. We survived without you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do on the 4th, and I'm just going to look for open sequences only. There shouldn't be too many. There's more than I thought there would be. So you see, when I do open sequences only, it's only going to show me the open sequences and open positions. These are leaving out a pit. I am not a satellite flyer, so I am not going to bid for these. I'm going to just bid for, these are red eyes, as you can tell by the red eyes. I'm just going to bid for this Barcelona, which I know I'm not legal for because of the red X. And I'll bid for this 3-day, and I'll bid for this one St. Thomas turn. So if I do create choice and save as separate choices, you see it breaks them out into the 3 separate choices. And after I put this in, obviously I meant Barcelona to be first. So I would just move this up to now be my first choice. And when TTS runs tonight, when it reaches this one, if I were legal for them, it would be reading them as this is my first choice. If not that, then the St. Thomas. If not that, then this Chicago DC 3-day. I save the separate choices by going when you're in here. And sorry, the question was, how did you save as separate choices? I'm just going to show this really quick. When you're on the ballot page, after you select multiple positions on a sequence, you can either save selected sequences, which is going to save everything I have as one choice, or I can create a choice. And then you have the option to either save the display choice, which is all 4 of these together, or to save as separate choices, which is going to save them as 4 separate choices. It'll break those apart. Okay, and I'm going to see if that other trip is on here. It is. Thank you, Irene. So how to actually do a trip improvement. You would click on your sequence on here. That's one way to do it. You see, when you click your sequence, it brings up the sequence details. You have the option to enter a drop request, a pickup request, which I already have a trip, or a trade request. If I wanted to do UBL trip improvement, I would be looking for a trade. This sequence departs on the 17th, so I will be looking for other trips that start on the 17th. And I would be looking for trips that are either 2 days or more, because trip improvement, again, you can't go down in days, you can only do same days or more. So I'm going to do any 2-day or up, and see what we got here. So I don't think you see it has up here, it shows you what your sequence is. So in real life, I would probably be doing this because this is a 10-hour 2-day. I prefer to fly higher time sequences. So if I rank this by days, I can see all the 2 days first, and I can see the credit over here. So I could bid for this Aruba. I'm not legal for it, but just pretend I was. I could select that. And by clicking that, I'm doing all of the positions. If I just want to do the open positions, I can expand this and just do those. And then what other 2 days are worth more? Really all of them, but I'll bid for the San Francisco also. And I'm going to create my choice. I like to save as separate choices. And again, for the trip improvement, that is UBL. So I'm going to have to click this pass to UBL button. And that's going to run up until 1500 the day before. So on the 16th, when UBL is running, up until 1500 home base time on the 16th, I could potentially be awarded one of these as trip improvement if my seniority is reached and these sequences are open. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions or things you guys want to cover?
I think somebody in the chat wanted you to move that St. Thomas up a little higher.
Yeah, sure. I'll move that to number 1 and save the ballot. You missed it. It's the same as re-ranking any of the other, if you're re-ranking requests or re-ranking choices, just using these arrows. So originally it was down here and I just hit the up arrow to move it up. And just make sure to always save because this does not auto save. Okay, and that was my third request. Okay, and I hit everything
And-
on my list.
Can I ask a quick question? So that St. Thomas was request 3, right? So if I wanted to
Yes.
even move it up to request 1, I could do that, right?
Yep. Just click over on request and move it on up. And now it's my very first request, very first choice.
Okay, so kind of same concept with those arrows, whether inside or outside of it.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Ashley, did you have anything else that you want to touch on?
And let's go over, if you can pull up the red X's and yellow X's again, so we can go over those again.
Yeah. And just remember, this will be recorded. So once we're wrapped up, we will be posting the recording just for anyone who missed anything. I'm just going to pull up everything on this day. Okay.
Okay,
And
so
what do you want to touch on with these?
just again, so people can see when you hover over, it'll tell you what the legality, the reason why is that you cannot pick it up for the red, or you might not be able to pick it up.
Right. So the red is always going to be either a contractual illegality that you cannot waive, such as the report prior to 1000, qualification illegality, or an FAR that you cannot waive. The yellows are things that you can waive. For reserves, that's always going to be your days off. By picking up, you are waiving your day off technically to pick up a trip on your day off.
And the red is also it'll also trigger for TTS max.
Correct.
Correct.
Contractual illegality that you cannot waive. Okay. Kelly, anything else for you?
So I'm greedy. I know this hasn't been implemented yet, but what will be the next thing that's implemented?
The next thing that we are working on is going to be LMCO for line holders and reserves and UBL. So LMCO is less than minimum call out. Currently, the UBL that we talked about, that runs for any trip departing within up to 2 hours in a non-co-terminal base or up to 3 hours in a co-terminal base. So with the LMCO, it'll be just like the aggressive reserve option that currently exists. I would be able to tell the system, like, I'm already at the airport, or I can be at that trip, or I could report within 45 minutes. So you'll be able to actually put those options in there and be able to use UBL to get trips that report sooner than the current limits. It's scheduled for October.
I'm very excited
but
about
we're
that.
hoping, yeah, it's scheduled for October, but we're hoping we might see that a little early. We'll see though. Depends on how fast Irene works.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Do you mind trying to put in one more ballot?
Yeah, I could put in one more. What would you
Okay.
like?
I live in Pittsburgh, so I would
Okay.
like to try to fly a Pitt satellite trip.
Okay. You okay if I do a turn on the 11th?
That would be great.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my criteria and co-terminals, or is it satellite? Oh, through this. Sorry, I can't remember if it was like the other system. So by including satellite, you see I have Pitt here. So I'm going to bid for that Pitt Charlotte turn. I'm going to bid for this Dallas and Cancun turn. And I'm going to save these all as one. So that would be how I bid for a satellite sequence. Just make sure you are making sure when you're bidding, if you do see it as a satellite, you are agreeing to report to that satellite by bidding for this trip. No one's going to deadhead you there. No one's going to drive you there. up to you to get here.
Can I drop it if I accidentally pick it up?
You can drop it in ETB. You can try to drop it using TTS, but it can't go into open time. So it's a little bit harder because you have to hope someone else is balloting to pick it up for it to go through TTS.
So I really need to make sure.
Really need to make sure.
Okay.
Can you go over one more time, the order that this is processed? So with current month and then reserve days off and then.
Yeah, so the night of the 21st, when the first run happens, they are going to be running the March TTS run first at 2300. Then after that, they run UBL again for March for the next day. Then they will be running trading days off for reserves in March, and then they will be running April TTS. So that's why that first run, you typically don't get the results until closest to that 0400 cutoff time, because that is the day they're running the most at once. So it does take a bit of time.
Thank you. We do have another request for another satellite pickup. If you can go over that again, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Just do the same thing.
Yeah, you can
If I
do,
want,
yeah, any
if I
day.
wanted to
just
pick up,
satellite.
and I'm going to select to include satellite. I just do turns because I know that pit has turns, and so they're easy to pull up. But I include satellites. If I click departure station, it'll filter by those. Oh, there are no pit sequences that day. Interesting. Let's do another day. Let's do the 25th. Okay, and I would know that this is a satellite because it has pit listed. If you are in a base that has co-terminals like LA, you would just have to recognize which of those are co-terminal and which ones are satellite. I don't remember those off the top of my head. That's up to you, Ashley. But just be careful if you are in those co-terminals that have satellites. Like if you're in Miami, if you saw that it was ATL or MCO, you would have to know that's a satellite, not a co-terminal.
Can you go back up and do that departure station so the pit comes to the top?
Yep,
Perfect.
there you go. There she is. I didn't know they had Cancun turns. Today I learned. Okay. And as always, save your ballot. Oh, and just so that you can see, now that I was awarded, oh, never mind. Again, test environment, don't worry about it. But normally this would show on there that it ate up my credit window. Since this was a 10-hour trip, my credit window would only be 20 hours, not 30. But again, this is a test environment, so we expect little bumps there. Okay.
Should we do another? Irene wants to know if we should do another run. Or...
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Just a reminder for any of you that didn't see the whole thing, we are going to be posting a recording of this, and we'll try to put some highlights in there too so that you can jump around. It's usually on YouTube, so you can jump between the chapters. Kelly, what was that question that just came in?
2 questions. When's the first opportunity to trade trips for the month of April?
Okay,
So
that's the first run is on the 21st. You can put in ballots now. The first run is tomorrow at 2300 home base time.
And then pick up and trade on TTS is only for days off, correct? Am I able to trade a trip that was assigned to me on my days on via TTS or ETB? If so, in case I trade down in time, do I lose my 75-hour guarantee?
TTS cannot be used for trips on days on. TTS is only for trips on days off. You can use ETB to trade on days on for sequences that are the same number of calendar days, and you can trade to drop in ETB. So If you drop an ETB, you are going to lose those hours out of your guarantee, and you are going to be restricted from flying over the footprint of the sequence you had plus legal rest. So just be aware of that if you ever do drop a trip in ETB. And you are, of course, able to use the seat swap Crew Portal app after you've signed in if you want to seat swap with someone, or use ETB to seat swap.
But if you have red flag, please do not use ETB to seat swap. Use the seat swap app. Thank you.
Yes, if you use ETB to seat swap, it follows the position. So don't use that if you have red flag. Make sure to use the seat swap app so it stays with you. On the sort by legality, is it automatically showing me everything I'm legal for? Let's go look at that again. So I'm just looking at any turns. So if you click the legal, it will move up the ones that you can waive versus the ones that you are definitely illegal for. So if you wanted to do that, that would be an easier way to just move all those to the top so you can see the trips that you are potentially legally able to get. That was a good question.
And it will either be yellow or red. There won't be an opportunity for nothing to be there.
Right. As a reserve, you're always going to be waiving your days off. So you'll see that there because of that.
Perfect.
If you do have a line month, then you wouldn't see that if you weren't waiving anything. Final call. Anything else from Ashley, Kelly?
I think I'm good.
Crystal, I saw your comment in there. I'm not able to look at that right this moment, but we can take a look. Kelly, can you put the contact the kick link in chat? And if you guys have any questions or if anything's going on, you can send that in so that we can look at that. I'm just not in a position I can troubleshoot for people right now. I'm sorry.
And I know you said this at the beginning, and there's going to be a recording, but I did want to just reiterate the fact that you can bid for things that are not status open. If it's status, if it doesn't have an open status, we recommend still bidding for it because there is a chance that there's a lot that happens between now and 2300, like Hunter said earlier. So even though this first one, 27623, isn't open right now, there is a chance that it can be between now and 2300 when it runs.
Right. And the form that Kelly just dropped, if you have any questions for us or want us to look into anything, please use that. We usually respond within a day, sometimes 2 days, but we will definitely get back to you. We do respond to everyone. Yeah, that's all I have. And Ashley, Kelly.
I think that's all for me. Happy bidding.
Go get your ballot on.
Like we said, balloting is open. You should be able, Crystal, we will take a look at what might be going on for you. But everyone else, please go get those ballots in. And when the first run happens, good luck. We'll see when you wake up in the morning of the 22nd what you got. It's like Christmas. But thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.